Welcome back to Real Phonies, where we take a love for movies and television and combine it with very little knowledge about movies and television. I'm your host, Christian. Join with me, as always, are my co-hosts, Joseph.
Yellow.
And Jehu. We're joined this week by the sounds of the playground as my children are running about and having a grand old time in this New England weather. But we're also here to talk about Hustle, I'm not going to say latest Netflix release, but I don't know what other movies have come out on Netflix. It's the
latest big one, I feel like.
I'm not even sure if it's the latest Adam Sandler release.
Yeah.
Plus Netflix release. Both of those things put out a lot of content.
That is absolutely true.
Hustle is the story of a on-the-road scout searching for the next great NBA talent for the Philadelphia 76ers, with dreams of being a coach, starring Adam Sandler, Queen Latifah, and then a whole slew of NBA stars. I don't know anything else about this movie.
I did wonder. I do want to talk about that, but you kind of brought it up. This is for me and Hurt, maybe. I don't know how into the NBA you are, Christian, but like, what percentage do you think you would have enjoyed this movie more if you knew any fucking NBA players?
Well, the main thing I thought about it is man, Adam Sandler makes movies for Adam Sandler.
100%. What a guy. Yeah, how many people are living more of a dream than Adam Sandler? Like, if there are two people, I could just like jump into their body and live their lives to be Adam Sandler or Jimmy Buffett.
Because I was thinking about, like, you know, I don't know if you guys ever watched this, but that shitty Will Ferrell Sherlock Holmes movie in it, there's like a cameo in it, and it's Billy Zane. And it's fucking hilarious and has a real impact. Like, none of the cameos in this have any real impact on me, and I don't think it's just because I don't know anything about the current NBA. I think it's just because there's so fucking many of them.
I have to stop you there, Hurt, because you said the current NBA. Would it have been any different if it was any other NBA?
I mean, if it was like the NBA in like 1992, and I'm not saying I followed basketball then.
You got to give me 5 NBA players from 1992.
Okay, well, first of all, let me say 1992 is a generalization. But let's say during the era that people like Jordan and Pippen and
that's 2.
Okay, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, like, you know, people like that.
That's
the fucking
4.
guy who was a wrestler for 10 minutes. Who loves Kim Jong-il? Why can't I think of his name? You know, Dennis Rodman.
There
you go.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed. I'm so proud of you.
3 of the players you listed were on the Bulls.
Yeah. Well,
one team.
Well, I mean, that's who people cared about in 1992.
That's true.
But you know what I'm saying? I'm saying the NBA and stars from the NBA used to be way more in the popular consciousness than they are now.
I don't know that I agree with that. But
I don't know if I agree with that either. But go ahead.
I would say you're more out of the popular conscious, but I would say, to your point, specifically, you know, that Bulls team, that transcended all sports. Like that.
Absolutely.
That was a dynasty of dynasty type of thing. So I get why that one stands out.
I can't think of any... much less basketball, but almost any other sports star that has achieved Michael Jordan in like the early 90s stardom. Like, that's just like a special, like you said, transcendent kind of thing.
I mean, Michael Jordan is the Michael Jordan of being Michael Jordan.
Yeah. So I don't know if I agree with what you said, Hurt, that there are less famous basketball players or, like, you know, people like popular conscious basketball players, but I will say none of them were in this movie.
Right.
There wasn't no KD or Steph Curry or LeBron James.
That was kind of awkward, though, because the Sixers are a pretty big team, and they have one of the biggest players in the NBA, Joel Embiid, who is mentioned by name several times, never seen in the film.
Nope.
And, I mean, arguably the biggest player I think you see, maybe Trae Young, Chris Middleton. I mean, I don't know. Like, there are definitely recognizable people, but none of them are the LeBrons or the Kyries or the Steph Currys. It's like those guys are all a step above. I personally thought the bar was much lower than I was surprised at the amount and who they did play.
It did seem like quality would have been better than quantity in this particular case.
I mean, they definitely chose quality. There was probably a discussion for as much as we can get LeBron for, we can get like 30 other players.
I definitely like when they started the credits and they started listing this person as himself. I was like, well, shit, you should have done that when he showed up. It would have been more helpful for me.
Right.
Anyway, let's talk about
what did you guys. Yeah, I was saying, what did you guys think of it?
I'll go first. I thought it was pretty fun. You know, it's pretty well known, I think, that Adam Sandler loves basketball probably more than he likes acting or comedy. So this feels like something that's been in the making for a long time. Again, I'm sure he just went up to Netflix and was like, hey, can I get some money to do some basketball? And they're like, fuck yeah. And I don't know why he hasn't done that sooner. But I mean, you know, it's good. He's a kind of an established dramatic actor at this point, and it's not a very funny movie. He's, I guess kind of quippy, but in a sort of sad way. It's a fun sports management movie, which I think is a whole genre into itself that I don't really know why it's compelling, but it is. Obviously Moneyball is the top tier example of this, and I think this is definitely related to it. Not exactly the same, but on that note, comparing it to Moneyball, one of the things that I realized watching is like, I kind of wish it was more management-y and we spent less time on the actual basketball. But I'm curious what you guys think. I still think it was better than Transformers, but, I was hoping it was going to be the Moneyball for basketball, but it wasn't quite that.
Yeah, I would put it somewhere between Draft Day and Moneyball. I think Draft Day is the one I enjoy the most, but it's the worst of the three movies. Moneyball
it's definitely the dumbest of the three.
For sure.
It's still pretty darn entertaining, though.
This is not Moneyball. It doesn't take itself nearly as serious as Moneyball, but it takes itself more serious than Draft Day.
Yes.
And so, for the trilogy of major league sport management movies, it's a fine addition. Better than Transformers. I probably won't watch it as much as I watch those other two films. I kind of agree with you, Joseph. Like, the coaching aspect just wasn't as interesting for me as the management aspect. But again, I'm one of those weird people that like the off season. I enjoy the GMing of it all. So, it was a good time. I think it moves quick. It's a quick 2 hours. There's cool basketball scenes in it. Adam Sandler is pretty good. Better than Transformers.
Yeah, I think it was kind of Moneyball's an apt comparison. There's a little bit of Rocky in this, like there is all sports movies, but this one felt it a little more since it was in Philadelphia. And there's a little bit of the forgotten Billy Crystal vehicle, My Giant. Overall, I like this movie. I think it could have done with less cameos. I think the cameos sort of break it up. They sort of, stop the flow every time you've got to watch someone trying their best to act and not achieving. But overall, I think I liked it. I definitely, if you would have went into this giving me 100 guesses as to who would play Adam Sandler's wife, I would have never gotten it. And I thought that worked out pretty well. I liked that part of it. I will say, I can't even remember the name of the movie, but I remember the name of the character. There was a Will Smith basketball movie where he played a character called Jackie Moon. Does anybody remember what the name of that movie was? Woody Harrelson was in it.
I don't know that one.
It reminded me a lot of that. That movie was wackier than this, but it had that feeling where it seemed like someone wanting to do something a little more serious, but was afraid to let go of the jokes. He probably could have just done with no jokes in this, because the jokes in this weren't terribly great. They weren't the kind of sort of, riffy over the top stuff that Adam Sandler's really good at. So I think this could have been better if it was just a straight drama.
Were you talking about that Will Ferrell movie, Tropic something, where he owns the basketball team and plays for it?
Yeah, it's about like the ABA in the 70s.
Yeah, you said Will Smith, and that really threw me off.
Oh, I meant Will Ferrell, definitely.
Oh, we're talking about Semi-Pro?
Semi-Pro, yes.
Oh, fuck. We went a long road to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will Smith threw me the fuck off, too.
Oh, yeah, I don't know why I said
the
Will
Tropics.
Smith.
Yeah. Well, now we know.
So, yeah, we've gotten somewhere now. I mean, look, I don't really think it is a comedy, to your point, her. I think it is played as a straight drama with, I guess, like just a sports movie.
No, I think it is a drama, but I think there's a little too much of, we got to put some people in here for the stock Adam Sandler fans, some jokes. And I think, like all the cameos, it kind of breaks the flow sometimes.
It's fair enough. There's a lot of montages in this.
Yes,
Yeah,
there is.
I enjoy a good montage, and there's good hip hop set to those montages.
That's true.
So, like, props.
I will tell you. So I really liked the first like third of this movie a lot, and I really thought that the rest of the movie was going to be him bringing the Bo back to the States. The Sixers didn't want him, and then he was going to take the agent job and just kind of, well, like unofficially, I guess, and just kind of like shop him around to like all of the different teams, and then it was going to be like a whole, I don't know, working the people angle in all of the different front offices and trying to figure out, like, oh, he's got to work out here, but fucking it doesn't work out because of this reason or that reason or whatever. And that was kind of the track I expected it to go, but for it to focus so much on like the Sixers and then just like training for the draft, I was like, oh, well, I kind of would have liked what I thought was going to be better.
Right.
Is this the most and least Ben Foster role ever? Because he is so easily unlikable as Ben Foster normally is.
It's just...
Please ignore that. I don't know what that was.
I'm so glad that he's figured that out. Like there was a time in the mid 2000s where like Ben Foster was occasionally getting like leading man roles, and Ben Foster was born for you to hate him. And I think he at this point he gets it.
Right. Has there ever been the son of the owner of anything that wasn't the main character in a movie who wasn't a complete prick? That's never happened even.
No, it hasn't. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a good point.
God, my favorite actor ever. God damn it, Robert Duvall's old.
Oh yeah, he's really old.
I've really, this is going to be spoilery, but I'm assuming, this is on Netflix. Watch it. I mean, getting to that age in your life has to make you think no matter who you are, but particularly when you're an actor and what you become is just someone who plays people, who dies in the first act to motivate the main character in the second and the third act. That's got to be a bummer. That's got to make you think about your mortality all the fucking time.
It might just make you think about the paycheck. I don't really know.
Maybe.
Robert Duvall is 91 years old.
I was also Googling that. I think we were doing it at the same time. So. Yeah, he's old, and he looks old, and I was happy to see him in there. I'm happy he gets work, but the fact that he dies in every movie he's in, not good. That's not a good outlook on his life and how much time he has left. Guys, I don't have much more to say about this movie.
I was about to say, is there a lot else we want to talk about? The guy who was the basketball player, who is apparently a real basketball player, was fine.
Yeah.
So was what's his butt? Kermit. Oh god, his name. He's in the NBA too. He's pretty good. As I was watching it yesterday, the main dude got cut from the Utah Jazz. So I feel like it's partially my fault.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot else to say about this. I kind of felt like the ending was a little trying to have its cake and eat it too. It gave you the sad Rocky ending and the upbeat Rocky 2 ending both.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that was a little whack. Pick one or the other.
Yeah, also the cut to 5 months later was such a hard cut. There were a couple of weird, like, I don't know. Continuity is a strong word for a dumb basketball movie, but weird continuity things. First off, the training montage where he's running up the hill, that dude, I'm positive we watched him run up that hill at full speed at least 20-something times, right? And there was a month until the draft. It's like, motherfucker, that is not... That's not how training works.
Right.
And like for it to be like so much time spent on a very small contiguous amount of time and then just jump to 5 months later was very strange for the denouement there.
Again, the 5 months later was very like dumb Adam Sandler comedy.
Yeah.
Big Daddy gets his kid back, cut to 5 months later to find out how everything's working out. Again, I think that was one of those things that sort of undercut this movie.
Yeah. One other thing that annoyed me about this movie, they like make a point pretty early on about like the Bo is like a hustler and like he wants to hustle even if he doesn't necessarily have to.
Right.
And then that doesn't amount to anything.
Right.
And that irritated me because I like, I've going to other basketball movies. Like I love White Men Can't Jump. And, so much of that is just about, fucking Woody Harrelson just like can't stop betting it. Like even when he's up, he just can't stop because he just wants to do it. And I think that's an interesting angle for a character, but they just do nothing with this.
Well, I kind of think the same thing with, Kermit getting under his skin multiple times.
Yeah.
In the last confrontation, he should have been able to overcome by getting under Kermit's skin. But
instead, he just wasn't there, I think. I don't even know.
Instead he just played basketball better. That's it. Which I guess is real life, but that's not necessarily entertaining.
That's not good sports movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you guys think this guy got the Michael Orr treatment after being in this film? Because I think it's pretty ballsy to be a middling NBA player, but then to play like a godsend draft pick.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, I think it's a little bit better than the Michael Orr treatment, because the Michael Orr treatment is like a white woman made you into a football player. This one is like, you liked playing basketball, you just never got scouted by the right person. I feel like he's got a little bit more agency in it, but I assume it was not great in the locker room for him.
Oh yeah, 100%. But so many of them are in the movie, so how can they pick on him?
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
Anyway, I think this movie's better than Transformers.
Oh, I agree. It's better than Transformers.
I think for a Netflix movie, it's above average.
Right. And particularly for what most Netflix movies are for, which is to kind of watch. It's great.
It is very great for that. I was doing a lot of computer work while I was watching this.
Right.
It's better than Transformers, but I don't foresee me watching it again anytime soon.
Yeah. Alrighty. That's Hustle. What have we been watching this past week, guys?
I've watched nothing. I started the last couple episodes of Stranger Things. I haven't finished it yet. So I'll just say that Vermont is the Dave Matthews Bands of states. And it's also like the Subaru Forester of states. And you know what? I like both of those things. That's fine. Vermont's cool with me. New Hampshire, if the United States were Game of Thrones world, New Hampshire would have the coolest words, live free or die. But that's probably the coolest part of New Hampshire. So yeah, I would say both are better than Transformers, if only the summers kick ass here. But that's it.
Hurt.
I'm struggling to think of things I watched this week, and I think it's just because everything I watched was just some YouTube shit. So I'll talk about a couple of those. Have either of y'all ever watched a YouTube show called Toy Galaxy?
No.
I guess the reason I thought of it this week is a friend of mine named Ramel was texting me about this sort of also ran cartoon called Silverhawks. It was basically exactly the same as Thundercats, but it was in space and they were metal hawk people instead of cat people. And, years before people cared about shit like this, we used to always make fun of this sort of slightly racist aspect that there was a character, the only black character on this show was named Hot Wing. He was like, he texted me just, the other day about, referring to us talking about Hot Wing previously, far in the past. And I was like, yeah, I was watching some new YouTube show where they were talking about Silverhawks and they didn't even bring up Hot Wing. And he was like, oh, you watch Toy Galaxy? So I guess it has some kind of, but anyways, I kind of relate to the host of this show because I feel like he has the same problems as me. I think, Ronald Reagan deregulating the ability to advertise to children really warped his fucking brain in the same way it did me. Although he's found a way to succeed from it, whereas I have not. But it's a fun show. He mainly, just goes through and talks about 80s TV cartoon properties, the merchandise that spin off of them, the sort of pop culture sort of reaction to the stuff. And it's a fun show. If you have any interest in that sort of thing in that era, it's a fun show. He's a pretty funny host. I like it. Toy Galaxy, better than Transformers. The other one I'll plug for just a second because I've talked about it before. There's a wrestling show on YouTube called Reliving the War. Every week, he basically takes a week where Monday Night Raw and Monday Nitro went head to head and reviews the two shows. And he's reached November of 1997, which means he's reached the Montreal Screwjob, which, if you guys aren't familiar, is basically the most famous behind the scenes thing that ever happened in wrestling that sort of led to the best 2 or 3 years of wrestling ever, but then ruined wrestling forever. But I like this guy's take on it because he really seemed to be more interested in talking about the stuff that happened on screen and then the intrigue behind the screen. And, you can find so much stuff about the Montreal Screwjob on YouTube. The Dark Side of the Ring episode on it is great, but I really like this one because it was pretty much the only one that really actually talked about the show as opposed to the backstage intrigue. So also, reliving the war better than Transformers. That's all I got.
Cool. I really wish that I could go somewhere on YouTube and it would just tell me what it thinks of me. You know what I'm saying? Listening to you, your algorithm is so fucking different than mine. And I want it I know the kind of stuff it feeds to me, but it's obviously based on some very specific profile. I watch a lot of anime videos, which shouldn't be surprising, but when I go through the YouTube shorts or whatever, it's 80% of Naruto videos set to Gangster's Paradise, which I watch, even though I've never watched Naruto. Clips of fucking Peaky Blinders, and then Joe Rogan and Kobe Bryant clips.
Which that is really funny because obviously YouTube has an opinion of you.
Yeah, exactly. It
would be funny if there was just an AI and you could click on that and it could tell you, hey man, you care too much about Transformers.
Yeah, exactly.
I
want to tell, I'm positive that I'm not interested in Joe Rogan, but it just does not think that that's true.
Same with me. It definitely thinks I want to watch Joe Rogan, and I've never clicked on that shit once.
Nope.
Guys, you're white guys with beards.
I know.
It analyzed your face and it made a decision for you.
I can't ask the name of this band without ruining the punchline of the story I'm about to tell. I'm in such a quandary right now. It's one of those new metal bands. I'll just try to do it anyway. There's a new metal band that I've never listened to, and I've never fucking searched. Definitely never clicked on YouTube. And suddenly I started seeing a bunch of suggestions for me to watch videos about it. And I don't really like that genre of music, and I particularly didn't seem to like this band. And I was wondering why it was doing that. And then I realized that I have this habit around the house when I have to do a chore, I'll do this. Cut my life into pieces. I'm doing the dishes. So it started suggesting a bunch of stuff about that band. So we're all being watched is basically what we...
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. That's funny. I don't have too much to talk about either. Most of the anime shows that I'm finishing are shows I've already talked about. And summer doesn't start for another week. So whatever. I did start watching. I've been meaning to get to it, but I've been waiting until I'm spiritually ready to do it. To watch Barry on HBO because the third season I think is all the way out now.
Yeah. I hear this third one is dark.
It's the first episode is so fucking good. It makes I've waned on kind of our current age of television. I feel like it's a lot of the same stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I watched the first episode of Barry. I was like, fuck, this is really good.
Right.
But it is it's definitely I gotta be up enough that watching this show doesn't take me too far down. For sure.
Right.
I still think I think it's better than it has been, but it is the most mean-spirited show about Hollywood. I don't know if it's Bill Hader or whoever else is writing the show, but they fucking hate Hollywood. Right? There are just so many little characters, both in the industry, in the acting classes and whatever. It's who fucking hurt you to do this? You did not have to make them this way.
Right.
But anyway, it's really fucking good. So if you haven't watched the whole thing, it's the whole show is good, but the third season is really great so far. But I think that's it. I'm going to be unavailable next week, so I don't think we're going to be recording next week.
And I'm assuming when we come back, we'll be doing Tho.
I assume that we will also be doing Tho.
Has anyone watched Miss Marvel?
No.
Man, whose fucking idea was it to put that out at the same time as Obi-Wan? Because I didn't even know it was out till like 2 fucking days ago.
That shit does feel kind of racist.
It does, right? They never overlap these shows.
Yeah.
I don't think they can help it anymore, but yeah, it's a problem. But I hear it's good, but I just haven't given it the chance.
I haven't given it a second, but
yeah. Sarah's been out of town and I think she's interested in watching it. So I'm waiting for her to get home to watch it.
But we're not going to do it either. There we go.
We're also racist.
So on that note, join us in 2 weeks when we do Thor: Love and Thunder. So thanks everybody for listening. Please rate, subscribe, tell your friends about the podcast. If you want to get in touch with us, you can reach us at realphonies@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at realphonies, on Instagram, real_phonies. Thanks, Zach Evans, and Brian Blessing for our theme. We'll see you guys later.
Later.